Well, tally-ho, old sausages. Yes, it's a cheese love rocket here, with my very first, hopefully the first of many, World of Warships YouTube videos. This is the first of our weekly quick start guides to a particular warship. Now, there is no substitute for knowing your ship inside and out. Please don't let the title Quick Start fool you. How do you get the best out of any particular ship in World of Warships? It's to know your ship. Get intimate with your ship. Build a scale model of it and sleep with it if necessary. Just know your ship. And this naturally takes time, and that's all part of the enjoyment of playing this wonderful game. These quick start guides are aimed at getting you out there on the pixelated ocean waves, getting the feel of your new wonderful flagship, whilst having as much fun as possible in the process. These guides may not even be quick in themselves, but it's my hope that they will get you started in a fun way. So our first video is a quick start guide to one of my favourite ships in the whole game. It's the elegant and potent Tier 9 French battleship, the Alsace. The ship with literally all the sass. We'll be comparing her mostly to Tier 9 non-premiums, so you can gauge what you think is worth grinding to. The Alsace ships, they were paper ships. That means that they were designed but never actually built, so what we see here is what would have been. The Alsace class were a group of initially 2 fast battleships planned by the French Navy in the late 1930s. The plans were in response to the German plans to build 2 H-class battleships, which incidentally are represented here in World of Warships by the predecessor, also a paper ship. These ships are essentially a beefed-up Tier 8 Richelieu. There were 3 different designs proposed and drawn up, differing mostly in the choice of main armament, either between 9 or 12 380mm gun setup, or 9 406mm guns. Historians argue all the time, they're arguing even now as we speak, with regards which of these 3 designs would have been chosen for the final build. But the design represented here in the game is the one with provision for 12 380mm guns, and I'm glad they chose that one, frankly. 2 of these new ships were authorised on the 1st of April 1940, and the vessels were slated to be laid down at the No. 1 slipway in Saint-Nazaire, and the second member of the class was to be laid down in 1942 in Brest, with a new outfit to both of those shipyards in order to meet the capacity of the size of these new ships. But they were never built. The German victory in June 1940 put an end to all French naval construction. So alas, Alsace, we never saw you in real life. But 4 ship names were put forward for the 2 ships. They were Alsace, Normandy, Flanders and Bourgogne. But as I said, following the German victory, they were never built. So we'll never know what names would have translated into the reality. But here is the Alsace, and if you're looking for a fast, fun, good-looking, versatile mid-ranger in this game world, then look no further. The Alsace is one of my most favourite ships in the whole game. She rewards those who get to know her handsomely, and there are a few different configurations you can apply to this ship to suit your own personal playstyle. She's very versatile. I personally have gone for a full secondary build on this ship, as it suits my playstyle of being versatile and troublesome in mid-ranges with a bit too much aggression from time to time. So let's have a look at her general characteristics from the bottom up, and we'll start with concealment. Good old concealment. Basically, you're the 4th best, or in other words, 2nd worst non-premium Tier 9 battleship for stealth. With a base, and when I say base in any of my videos, I mean fully hulled upgraded, but not including the additional modules. So the upgrade modules, the captain skills, camouflages, flags, etc. Base detection range of 16.7 kilometers. Only the predecessor and Isabeau are worse off than you at 17.2 base each, with the Lion being the stealthiest at 15.1 base detection. The maximum you can shave off any Tier 9 battleship's detection is 23%. That's utilising 10% from Concealment Expert Captain Skill, 3 from a camo, and 10% from the Concealment Systems module, which means 12.9 kilometers is your best detection range on this ship. I haven't got it down that far because I'm not using the Captain skill. I've invested that instead in a secondary build. 23% brings the Lion's detection down to 11.7k, so if you want a stealthy non-premium tier battleship, get the Lion. Or that is the only reason I can imagine anybody getting the Lion. Except to get to the Conqueror, of course. Ooh, controversial. Fair detection, not the worst, but there are many better in non-premium tier 9. And though she's not better than... she is a lot better than most tier 10 battleships she'll be facing, of course. Maneuverability. Maneuverability, however, is a different kettle of halibut to concealment. You are the second fastest non-premium tier 9 battleship, with a base speed of 32 knots. Only the Iowa, at 33 knots base, beats you. With a speed flag, you can get that base speed up to 33.6 knots. This ship has one more ace up its sleeve, however, in terms of speed. You are the only non-premium tier 9 battleship to come equipped with a speed boost that gives an extra 8% boost to your top speed for 180 seconds, which can push you up to 34.5 knots, which will match the Iowa's top speed with a speed flag, technically just short by 0.1 knots. But if you're given an American fast battleship a run for its money, you're in the big league. Turning circle radius of 9.10 or 910 meters is average and middle ground for battleships of this tier. Well, quite literally, actually. There are 3 non-premium tier 9s better than you and 3 worse. The Lions is the best at 830, and Sovietsky Soyuz, our Russian friend, is worse at 950. Same deal with the rudder shift time, which starts off at 16.6. You can upgrade module that down to 13.3, as I have here. Funnily enough, what the Sovietsky Soyuz lacks in turning radius, she makes up in rudder shift time, being the quickest non-premium tier 9, standing at 14.9. No prizes for guessing the Izumo is the worst at 19.7, so in maneuverability this ship is average. But excellent speed. You can change flanks, respond to threats, and push and disengage rapidly in this ship. Moving on quickly to AA defense. Is another little step back in the grand scheme of things, but this ship is this ship's whereby having a playstyle that responds to good secondary having a good secondary build comes in handy for bumping up a decent AA without having to sacrifice for a full AA build. Base AA rating is 78, a good defensive rating at tier 9, but nowadays the ship's going to be seeing largely nothing but tier 10 carriers, so again, middle ground in rating. Sovietsky Soyuz and Lion start off worse at 74 and 77. But I have a full secondary build, which means in using the captain's skills, basic and advanced fire training to buff my secondaries, we also get a boost to AA damage per minute and flak burst potency. Same with the wonderful Slot 6 upgrade module we have on this ship these days, Auxiliary Armaments Mod 2. Here we go, there it is. Which also gives a further minus 20% reload to the secondaries, which is what I went after. But in addition, gives you a further 50% to your continuous damage, the all-important number, and a further 50% shell explosion potency and number of explosions. So all this pushes our AA rating up to a respectable 94. So even in a situation when we find ourselves without support, with the tier 10 carrier focusing on us, as long as we've got a good proportion of operational AA guns, we're using our priority sector effectively, and we're reasonably proficient in evasive manoeuvres against aircraft, that's bow or stern onto incoming torpedo bombers and side onto everything else, then even a tier 10 carrier is going to have to work and make sacrifices to get damage from us. We're not a Minotaur, but we'll be no damage farm, easy damage farm, that's for sure. And if you can make a carrier player pay and make sacrifices, carrier players do not like making sacrifices. If you can make them sacrifices, they'll leave you alone. Now, moving on to the main event. Guns! The main armament on this ship is more or less, at first glance, an equal balance between pros and cons. However, the fundamental pros of these guns are the irreplaceable ones worth having in any ship. And if you want a full main armament build on this ship, then you've definitely got a main battery worth flouting and pontificating in front of other people with. Okay, general cons at 380mm for this main armament. You have the smallest caliber of main armament of any non-premium tier 9 battleship. Everyone else has bigger ones than you as standard, and on the Friedrich de Grosse and Lion, you have the option of outfitting even bigger guns to what you get as base, with the Friedrich de Grosses upgrading to 420mm, being the biggest caliber guns on a non-premium tier 9 battleship. You have the second worst base reload and range, starting at 32 seconds and 20.3 kilometers. Only the Sovietsky Soyuz is worse, at 33 and 19.4. Traverse speed starting at 36 seconds is again middle ground with this tier, but you do have the second worst accuracy as well for a non-premium tier 9 battleship at 265 meters maximum dispersion. IO is the only worse. But, and here's the big but, in a ship that's so rewarding, when supported in the middle of the map and on flanks, who cares about range? You can improve the accuracy with the aiming system mod and reload with the main battery mod 3, and fundamentally, the one big pro with these guns that makes any of this just tickety-boo to live with, even unbuffed, is the fact that there are 12 barrels. So if you go for a full main armament build on this ship, you've got a lot of competitive gun barrels to bring to the table in these 3 quadruple turrets. So you have got the firepower equivalent of about 3 tier 5 cruisers per side. This doesn't make this ship a Lone Ranger. She's too flammable for that. They don't make this ship a close quarters brawler. She's far too big for that. But they do make advancing with support super fun. They make kiting away at just the right range and angle, with or without support, hell for the ship chasing you, no matter what that ship is. And the virtues of a full build are best explored in-game, so more on that shortly. Moving on, though, to survivability. 74,700, very simply put, not very impressive for tier 9. It's the second to most squishiest non-premium. Only the Lion is weaker at 67,900. Go for the Sovietsky Soyuz at 88,100 for raw health, but you do have the best torpedo damage reduction at non-premium tier 9 by far at 44%, which makes mincing around in the mid-ranges, peppered with stray torpedoes on torpedo-armed aircraft, much easier on your hull. Or only the Sovietsky Soyuz comes close at 35. You've got almost double the torpedo protection of all the other non-premiums tier 9 battleships. Armour. Now, armour. Now, there are many wonderful videos on YouTube that go into armour in great detail. It's one of the most important aspects of the game in terms of understanding your ship, but it is also the most boring. So your quick start guide to the ship's armour is this. The whole hull is 32 millimeters and superstructure is 19. That means every bit of this ship that sticks out of the water, with the exception of the gun turrets, is a giant hunk of barbecue charcoal soaked for 3 weeks in kerosene. It is sickeningly easy to set fire to this ship, so if you've pushed forward only to find yourself being pummeled by filthy fire-starting cruisers raining HE down on you, use your speed to get the jimmy tits out of there fast. If you don't have forward spotting support, if you do have forward support, close the range and shred them with your secondaries and many main guns. Either way, do it quickly. The Citadel is protected by a turtleback, but it's not a German one. It's flat-facing. So to approach battleships and battle cruisers, don't do it like this. Do it like this. This will also bring a good proportion of your secondaries to bear. And if you're kiting away, don't do it like this. Do it like this. And never do that. Do all those things and you'll be minimizing your chances of a Citadel in this ship. It's not indestructible, directly bow on to heavy guns like a German ship. So, that's vital characteristics. Let's look at some of the upgrade modules. I run Auxiliary Armaments Mod 1. Yes, you really should be running Main Armaments Modification 1 because the main battery turrets are flat-facing on the front. You will find in this ship that you lose your main gun turrets to large caliber enemy shells if they're firing dead onto your turrets quite easily. So taking main armaments as part of a main armament build used to be absolutely essential in this ship. Nowadays, for me, we have all of the in ammunition and consumables. We have what used to be the Elite Damage Control Partnership consumable now as standard. So you can repair damaged turrets much quicker than you used to be able to. Since the aircraft carrier rework, again, we're facing in tier 9 and 10 carriers almost in every game, much more common than they used to be. We always want to survive in our ship to late in the game and be around at the end of the game and being part of the winning last few 3 or 4 ships. And on the enemy team, what is at least one of those ships always going to be at tier 9 or 10? It's going to be a carrier. So I want my anti-aircraft armament surviving as long as possible, and I also want my secondary build surviving as long as possible because I've invested so much in it. So I find the auxiliary armament modification 1 is more useful these days, although there is something to be said for main armaments because of the flat-facing turrets. I suppose it depends which build you go for. If you want to bulk up the main armament on the ship, go for main armaments mod 1. If your aim is to be around late game and you want to be chasing down those carriers and you want to be dicking around in the middle of the map having fun, go for auxiliary armaments mod 1. You'll kick yourself when your turrets go offline, but I'd rather have it this way. Second slot, damage control systems mod 1, brainless. You don't really have engine room problems in this ship. It's well armoured in that regard. I have gone for the full secondary build, so it's got secondary battery modification 1 to bump out the firing range and decrease the dispersion. If you're going for a full secondary build, obviously you'd go for aiming systems modification 1 to rein in that pesky accuracy. Wouldn't really go to increase the range. This ship is strong at mid-range, doesn't matter about the range. Slot 4, again, a bit of a brainless one for me. Steering gears modification. With being such a high-speed ship, I want to engage, I want to disengage nice and quickly, and to do that, I want to be able to turn as quick as possible. Being a floating barbecue, of course, damage control systems modification 2 is a viable secondary, but, you know, minus 50% fire extinguishing time. What is that anyway? You know, what is that anyway? Steering gears. Concealment, again, another brainless one for me. Torpedo lookout system, of course that's kind of important if you're in the mid-ranges, but 1.8 kilometers in this ship, that's not going to give you any more time to respond with the turning circle you've got on this and the sheer size of the ship. And ship concealments modification 1, action time concealments, concealment in a battleship. And finally, of course, as discussed earlier, in slot 6, auxiliary armaments modification 2 because I've got a secondary build, and what you get for your AA on top of that is also pretty tickety-boo. And the secondary build continues into the captain skills. Of course we have incoming fire alert. Always good to know you're having incoming fire. Wonderful being in the French Navy because you can get these elite French commanders, such as Charles-Henri Honor here. At level 19, he's very useful for French battleships because he gets enhanced expert marksman plus 1% turret traverse, which is super useful in this ship, having an average turret traverse, and enhanced adrenaline rush, which is amazing. As we shall see in battle, that almost doubles the reload time of all your armaments per 1% of HP loss compared to the standard. So these French commanders, if you can get one for the Alsace, well worth getting. They match up beautifully. Even if you haven't gone for a main armament build, in terms of the rest of the ship, just having this boosted adrenaline rush here is so useful for keeping your main armament competitive, even if you've not invested in it. And this also enhances your secondaries as well. So, boom. High alert, because love to have that damage control party refreshing as quickly as possible, and the full secondary build. Basic fire training for reload time, and advanced firing training for firing range. And the all-important manual fire control for secondary armament to rip down that dispersion 60%, to really make sure a sky full of metal lands in the right place. Means you have to pay attention, but it's well worth it, and you soon get into the habit of it in this ship. So, that's the ship with all the sass. We've taken a look at vital statistics. We've taken a look at how I like to outfit her. So, let's see how she performs when she's at sea. Okay, in this battle we got some lovely matchmaking going on here. This is one of the few battles we're in a tier 9 ship that's not up tiered to tier 10. And we've got a lovely selection of ships on each side. On the enemy team we have got another Alsace, but we've got a Frederick de Grosse, a Alsace, Massachusetts, King George. So we're going to be able to test the Alsace against a variety of ships here. But some good matchmaking. It goes from tier 7 up to tier 9, so I've got no excuse for not doing well here, have we? Okay then, we have spawned on the left flank, and it's the only flank without any destroyer support. Always feel a little bit cheated when that happens, but never mind. Must make the best of any situation we find ourselves in. We've got a Baltimore as escort. I think that was an Izumo behind us. And an Alaska. So, two battleships, 2 cruisers. Now, what are these cruisers going to do? Are they going to go out and spot for us? Or are they going to stay with us as a nice tight unit? In the absence of destroyer support, should cruisers spot more? Or should they stick with the battleships as a unit, as a task force in this case? Answers in the comments, please. I'm not so sure. Glad I'm not in a Yamato. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm at 3/4 speed and I'm rapidly overtaking these 2 cruisers here, so it looks like they aim to move in slowly as a unit. Okay. Well, I'm not going to get embroiled in all that higgledy-piggledy island nonsense up there. I think I'm going to go wide and push A from the open water ahead and to starboard. Because we haven't got any destroyers to spot for us. This Izumo's carving up my arse. He's obviously going to go on the flank. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go where there's open water. We're versatile enough to operate there with a secondary build. No carriers. So we're going to stay in open water where there's manoeuvring room and pound the ships that will inevitably... Everyone goes for those islands. We'll pound the ships from the open water, manoeuvring to avoid their shots. The ships that get embroiled up in those islands. And that was a Musashi that just appeared on the horizon, wasn't it? Yes, Musashi, Musashi, the girl who's hard to get. Musashi, Musashi, but you can't afford her yet. Ooh! Just glad it's not a Yamato. Okay, going wide, go to full speed. Let's pressurize A. Looks like we might have a friendly destroyer who looks like he's angling to come across from B, actually. That might be quite nice of him, wouldn't it? Okie dokie. Come out, wherever you are. We'll go nice and wide here. Lots of manoeuvring room. Plenty of room to bring those secondaries to bear. You never know, we might be able to cap A in the process. A York-class cruiser, hello! I've never really found a York-class cruiser particularly threatening, ladies and gentlemen. Not really. Ah! Neptune, I do consider those threatening. Hello, have some of that. And a KG-5, a nest of British Vipers. Secondaries locked on the Neptune and opening up. Okay. He's gone into smoke, but as soon as he appears, the secondaries will get straight back on him. Ooh! Somebody just unleashed 7 kinds of hell on that York cruiser up there. There we go. Hello, KG-5. Okay, switch over to armor piercing. Last of the high explosive, though. We'll set some fires on a filthy fire starter. Unless we can... Nah, someone's got that York. Main armament. Shells away. Let's see if we can set some fires on that angling KG-5. Not today. Hello, Neptune. Okay, he's not going to be firing torpedoes at us at that angle. Not really. But we'll stay alert anyway. Secondaries opening up. And with armor piercing loaded, we'll see if we can get some citadels on this little paper sausage. Here, little paper sausage getting some destroyer support from B there. That's very nice of them. Thank you very much. Main armament away. Yeah, not bad. Set a fire. More fire support coming in from our colleagues to the west. Time. And we have an Alsace, a sister ship Alsace to the north, closing in. Okay. Alright. We'll start angling against her shortly. Let's just keep the main armament on this Neptune and open fire. Let's see what we can lock on this. Ooh! Ooh, not bad. 7,000 damage just as a team effort finished him off. Oh, hello, destroyer. Okay. Let's get the full range of secondaries locked on him. And there they go. Fly, my pretties. Fly! Look at that. And the sky was full of lead. And he's been battered to shit, so we might get a secondary kill there. That'd be nice. And as if by magic, lovely stuff. First kill and a close quarters expert. Nice one. And that's an enemy destroyer in the drink. Cool. Okay, secondaries on this Alsace. Let her rip, boy. Let her rip. Okay, we'll concentrate on this Alsace whilst keeping our nose on this KG-5. Although he will be using high explosive ammunition, so it doesn't really matter. The upper works of this ship are made of charcoal, and I'm sure he'll take full advantage of that, and good for him. Don't begrudge him. A fire on the Alsace.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Destroy support, never mind. Look at those secondaries fly. Look at them fly. And that's 2 fires from the KG-5. Thank you, sir. Doing as a KG-5 does. And Alsace will keep the armor piercing loaded as he doesn't seem to know what he's doing in terms of angling that Alsace. He looks like he's doesn't really know what he's doing there. So we'll keep the armor piercing loaded. Look at those secondaries. Look at it. Blocks out the sun. Excellent. Okay, looks like there's a few torpedoes there. One's just hit home. Cool stuff. Main armament away. And I think, why not let's activate the speed boost. It'll throw some of his shots off as he retargets his, refocuses his main armament on me. There we go. Okay. Secondary number crawling up. 20. Look at that. Can't even see him. There's so many impacts around him. And whittling him down now. Yeah, it's not long for this world. Main armament away. What's it gonna be? Main armament secondaries? It was the main armament. Fantastic. Okay, KG-5, you wanted my undivided attention. You've got it, sunshine. Hello, Alaska. Well, we'll focus on the KG-5. I'm not too worried about the Alaska guns, to be honest. Not if it's going to be maintaining armor piercing. Okay, secondaries on the KG-5, and we're going to keep the armor piercing loaded as he's enough of an angle for us to more than scratch his paintwork. He obviously wants to keep all his guns focused on us, and why not? He's got a good chance of burning us down here. Secondaries wearing him down. Let's get the main armament loaded and see if we can... Oh, hello, Izumo. Okay, okay. Somebody's anxious for the kill shot, aren't we, Izumo? There we go. Yep, don't mind me, Izumo. You push in. Although, despite your desperate attempts to get the kill shot... Oh, living La Vida Loca, darling. Darling, darling, Izumo. I am so sorry. Despite your desperate attempts to get the kill shot, I just had too many secondary shots in the air. Too many secondary shells in the air, darling. And that's our third kill, and our second close quarters expert. Cool stuff. Maximum secondary build Alsace. Oh, yes. Darling, darling, darling. Okay. We've got Musashi, the girl who had to get up ahead, so we're closing at high speed. That is the most pissed off now. He's sulking. He's sulking. He's heading north to hunt down that Alaska. Fair enough. You do your thing, darling. And so we'll close in at high speed on this Musashi, and we'll see what we'll keep armor piercing loaded until we know what angle he's at. And the main bulk of the enemy forces is concentrated to the south. Ooh, he looks to be more or less broadside. So armor piercing shells. Away and... Yeah, we know exactly where to shoot Musashi, but we didn't get the sweet, sweet citadel between his two forward turrets this time. But never mind. We're advancing on him with plenty of support. He's not focusing his mighty barrels on me. At least I don't think he is. Nope, he's not. So we'll close in to secondary range, whittle him down, and keep the main armament. Keep our 6 forward super firing... I'm sorry, I do apologize. I'm underselling myself. 8 forward super firing turrets on him.
Engine boost deactivated.
And just entering secondary range now. Hello, Alaska. He's trying. And there go the little secondary beauties. Fantastic stuff. It looks like we've got more enemy ships pushing from the south. So, we'll angle to come parallel to these islands. We'll not cross the island threshold into the west side of the map. We'll stay on this side, angling to turn down the barrel of the islands and maximise secondary battery numbers on the Musashi. Let's get some more high explosive on him as he's decided to angle. High explosive away, buggered up some anti-aircraft guns. Not bad damage that. I think we're going to secure this Musashi as a team effort. Not necessarily get the kill, but look at all those secondary shells in the air. God, isn't that just poetry? Look at that. The rhythmic peppering of a Musashi with a high rate of fire, secondaries the likes of which you can literally find on some of the ships. Not many, but some. And we get the kill shot! Fantastic! Okay, that's a Musashi dealt with. Beautiful. Team effort there, but always nice to get the kill. Beautiful. 4 kills. That was the main armament that finished him off. That Alaska's just pissing off. I'm not chasing him up there. We'll move to intercept this Cleveland. And didn't quite catch the American battleship. It was definitely American silhouette. It was Massachusetts, I think. We'll move to intercept them with high explosive loading so we know what they're doing. And I think we'll lock the secondaries on the Clevelands. We'll move to intercept the Massachusetts, but with secondaries locked on the Cleveland, I think. Just so they open up once he clears this island. He's focusing on my colleague over there. Yeah, let's get the secondaries locked on this Cleveland. Cool, okay! Massachusetts pushing through the island barrier, so we'll move to intercept at full speed. Looks like he's got another battleship backing him up down there as well. I think it was a predecessor. And we're everybody's favourite target now. Yeah, get into a bit of a crossfire situation here, but what the heck, we'll stay bow onto the Massachusetts. He's angled, so we'll keep the high explosive in place. Oh, Cleveland, you're just too tempting. Oh, somebody just removed the Cleveland. Relieved the Cleveland of his life there. Fair enough. Cool. That means there's less rapid-firing cruiser guns on us. That is one hell of a determined Massachusetts. Free to Grosser looks like we're just getting under cover of the island from this Free to Grosser.
Engine boost.
Stay angled. Yeah. About to undercover 2 fires in the Massachusetts. Cool stuff. Boom. Okay, took the shock reasonably well. Excellent. Okay, he's out of. He can't fire at us now. He's hidden behind the island. So Massachusetts secondaries on the Massachusetts. Come on, love rocket. You should have done that earlier. And let's stare the barrel of this Massachusetts down. He's burning away. More high explosive away. Boom! Team effort. Cool stuff. Okay. We've got the Friedrich de Grosser on almost full health Friedrich de Grosser up here. We have almost no health. He could one-shot us with his 15-inch guns. So we've got to be very careful here. That Alaska is buggered off, so I'm not paying attention to that Alaska. It's just me and this Friedrich de Grosser now, who's on full health. Okay. What we're going to do now here is things are going to get a bit frisky. We're going to do a slingshot maneuver off this island. That far right-hand tip of the island, in which he's bow on to, we're going to close in, bow on as fast as we can, and we're going to ram this fat bastard of an Alsace hard over to starboard as hard as we can, and emerge from this island in a slingshot maneuver, angle to him, stern on. So we've got primarily stern-mounted secondaries on this ship. So we'll emerge from this island, stern on, with a maximum number of secondaries locked on him, and firing as much high explosive from the main battery as we can, because he's gonna be bow on to us. Okay, we're gonna. Oh, this could be a kraken. This is gonna be pretty frisky. So at high speed, we'll tuck in to the last possible moment. We could be in if we can get the first volley in. Because there's a lot of friendly ships we've got to the north. If his main armament are concentrating on them rather than me, when we emerge from this island, that could buy us some time to get 2 or 3. Yes, they are! Yes! Fantastic. Okay! He's concentrating all his main armament on the north, so we've rammed hard as starboard this Alsace, away from the island, slingshotting off it. Every secondary gun locked on him and opening up. And main armament away 2 fires. He can put those out. Yep, he's put those out. Some of his secondaries knocking on us. He can put those out, but he can't put out any more. So, it's going to take him ages to get those turrets on us. Secondaries pouring it in, baby! Pour it in! Main armament reloading. Main armament shells away! Boom! 2 fires. He can't put those out now. He can't put those out. Those are going to burn down. He's taking more damage from the north. Secondaries pounding away there. Pounding away. Pound away, boys. Pound away. Confederate award. Thank you very much. Not bad. 90 secondary hits. 100 secondary hits. Main armament reloading is down to 5,000 health. Is this our Kraken? Fire! It's our Kraken! Booyakasha! Tally-ho! Pip pip! Yes! Bird as your auntie. Kraken unleashed. Roar goes the Kraken. Fantastic. I love it when a plan comes together like that. I love it when a slingshot maneuver pays off like that. That all depended on his main armament facing away from us. That was fantastic. A couple of volleys from his guns would have seen us off. As it was, he just couldn't get them on us in time. And we were able to slam him with secondaries, slam him senseless, and pour in enough main armament shots to burn him down. Cool stuff. Okay, after a battle like that, I want to play it nice and conservative here. I wouldn't mind adding surviving to the end of the battle as another cherry on top of this. Beautiful. Well, if ever there was a battle that expunged the virtues of a full secondary build Alsace, it's this one. So we've just got this Alaska on the horizon over there. I do love the smell of Bait Alaska, but 500 secondary hits, Kraken unleashed, 5 kills, so many achievements. That's tickety-boo. We're not going to lose here. It's either time or points. It's going to be points. There we are. Well, old sausages, that's the French battleship Alsace. I certainly don't think you'll regret grinding the French battleships with Tier 9 as your goal. It's well worth it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll be posting weekly quick start guides, so do pop back. If you like what you see, do please feel free to hit the subscribe button so you're the first to know about new videos. And I stream at twitch.tv/Sir Cheese Love Rocket. Links below if you feel like coming and saying hello. Until then, cheerio, look after yourselves, and stay rigid against the forces of mediocrity.